Yo guys, it's slyroh. You already know that today I'm bringing you guys my draft analysis for Season 4 of the TBU, also known as the Battle Union, but henceforth will be called the TBU by me without correcting myself for the remainder of the season because it's easier to say, and that's what they get for calling it the TBU. So, if you guys know, of course, last season I did participate in the TBU, as well as for part of Season 2, so of course I came back for Season 4, and I'm really excited. We're in Gen 7 now, a whole new generation. This is going to be the first official league that I am a part of in Gen 7. I am doing an all-season league with PPL that I have not been uploading, but other people in the PPL have, so you can see how terrible I'm doing there. But we are not going to be doing terrible in the TBU, because I got a really good draft that I want to go over with you, and yeah, so I don't think there's too much to get into before we kind of get into it. So let's go ahead and do that, because I don't want this to be one of those videos where I ramble on for 35 minutes. I'd actually to keep this one a little bit shorter than my normal draft analysis. Seeing as this is like the 6th or 7th one that I've done, you guys know the deal now. So for the TBU, I was the 6th overall pick. There are 16 people in the TBU. It's 2 divisions of 8, and we play 8 games. We play everybody in our division as well as one person across division, so 8 games, and then there's playoffs, which I've made the playoffs both times that I've ended in the TBU. I've made the playoffs both times, so that is not a streak that I would want to ruin. And for those of you guys that are unaware, each Pokemon is split up into tiers from S+. There's S+, S, A, B, C, D, E, and F, or I don't even know. It's not like, it's like a FYI tier or something like that, because there used to be an F tier and then there used to be a Y tier, and it was like combined into just one, which is basically where all the like lower stuff goes. And each tier has like a point value attributed to it, and the total points that we could spend this season was 1,200, as well as there was also a viewer pick that had to be in the FYI tier. So that was 80 points, meaning that for our draft, we had 1120 to spend, plus a viewer pick, and that is for a total of 12 Pokemon, I want to say. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, 12 Pokemon. So, we got 12 Pokemon total. One was voted on Twitter already, so if you guys have been following the TBU on Twitter, then you guys already know kind of the outcome of how that all went, but of course I will be going over that. So, yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. So, like I said, I had the 6th overall pick, and I didn't start this draft with a plan. The draft actually kind of started a little bit suddenly, without much preparation, and of course I did some slacking on my own without really coming up with a draft plan. I had no idea where I wanted to go with this, but I did know that I wanted something crazy good to start with. So after some crazy stuff was taken first, including Magearna, which I really want to use Magearna, but both times that I have, both drafts that I've been in the Gen 7 era, it has gotten taken before it even got to my first pick, so I never even got a chance to possibly pick it. So what I decided to do is not let the same thing happen 2 seasons in a row. If you guys remember last season TBU, they unbanned Landorus I, and then nobody picked it. So I was like, that's not going to happen this season. If it gets to me, that's what I'm going to pick. So with my first pick, I picked Landorus I. And I'm doing it the Showdown way just so you can see what everything does, especially when it comes to new mons, any sort of buffs, any sort of moves, things like that. I think it is easier to show on Showdown, so I am going to be going on Showdown. As well as I do need help with nicknames for some of my mons. Not this one. This one is, of course, going to be Obi-Wan. So, you know what it is. But, yeah, so Lando I, I'm very excited to have. It gives me something with base 101 speed, which, seeing as I usually draft slow teams, is very good. Gives me good mixed attacking things, sheer force. I mean, I'm really excited to have Landorus I. I don't usually start my drafts off with offense, and I think that this is a great way to do it. Landorus I really can just, you know, sweep, you know, rock polish, Calm Mind, bulk. I mean, it has different setup opportunities, Swords Dance, and a lot of good moves. So I can't wait to use Landorus I, and ooh, it gets block. I will have to store that away for later in the season. So, but yeah, I mean, I got Landoi. It's, you know, it's a fantastic Pokemon, even though I've never really used it, so it may be a little unconventional, unconventional with me, but it's a very good Pokemon, and I'm really excited to use it. So, with that being said, as I was thinking about what I wanted next, there are of course some things that I wanted to make sure I got. I wanted to make sure that I got some defense. I also wanted to make sure that I really didn't have any sort of ice weakness, because I didn't want like Hidden Power Ice to just be spammable like all over my team. So I just wanted to make sure that I got some defense that could withstand that, as well as just good defense in general. Then I was thinking about a fairy type, and I just really didn't know where else I wanted to go with it, and I basically made a commitment to myself that in most seasons I pick not just mons that are good, but I also just pick mons that I really like, and I will avoid picking mons that I really don't like in favor of ones that I do like, just because it's what I want. But I decided to break that rule this season, and I picked a mon that I generally don't like, but yeah, I think I'm going to end up liking it a little bit, and that is Clefable with my second pick. So we got the whole way to the end of round 1, made it the whole way back to my second pick, and Clefable's still there, so I picked it. I believe I'm calling Clefable the Rock. So, yeah, Clefable is very good. Magikarp, Unaware, 2 very good abilities, this Clefable basically did a lot of things that I knew that I was going to need for the types of teams that I usually draft. And a couple of them being is I want to make sure that none of my defense is setup fodder, so having Unaware is great, especially if people do try to set up on me. It gives me a Wishmon should I need it. It gives me Stealth Rocker should I need it. Even though I don't generally want this to be my Stealth Rocker if I can avoid it. It gives me Aromatherapy, but it gives me Heal Bell. So it gives me all that stuff, as well as a possible offensive Life Orb set. I've done some pretty crazy things with Clefable in test matches that I've done with people, not with this team, but in other teams that have used Clefable. So I really think Clefable is going to be a very interesting fit on my team. I do plan on using it in a lot of interesting ways. I don't think people are going to be ready for it, and yeah, it has some really, really interesting moves that I don't think people usually account for. So we are going to have to see exactly how this works, but yeah, we got Clefable, which as much as I don't like it, which there are reasons for, mostly because I hate facing it, as well as I was never a fan of the design, and I never used it in the old games because it's just, I don't know. But there's a lot of reasons why I never really liked Clefable, but it's really hard for me to argue that it is basically the best fairy type. Off the top of my head, I can't think of one that's just like better in so many different things than Clefable is. So I made a commitment to winning, and that is what I'm going to do this season. So we already got Landoi, Clefable, and then I started to plan a little bit more. I planned the next, I want to say 3 picks, which was basically centered around making sure I had some defense, as well as, yeah, that's basically it. Making sure I had defense, but making sure that they were also capable of being offensive, as well as some other stuff. So the next one that I got is, of course, a good old favorite of mine. You guys already know, Arcanine, just every single time, and I don't get it. People get so mad that I keep drafting Arcanine, but, I mean, just draft it before me. It's not that hard. I was looking for a fire type that would fit on my team, and I was trying to find a Pokemon that was better than Arcanine, and there's not a fire type that's better than Arcanine. I'm sorry, you know. And literally the pick before me, Kelly picks Heatran. You know, I feel like there was other fire types taken too, but sorry, Arcanine is better than Heatran. That wasn't in order. Somebody, I'm like looking through the sheet just to see if there's any other like fire types that were taken. Oh, Infernape was taken before, although Infernape is more offensive, it fills a different role than Arcanine does, so that's a little bit different. And Mega Charizard X was taken, which is also a very good Pokemon, and yeah, I would say Mega Charizard X is probably the closest rival to Arcanine in terms of like what I enjoy. But in the off-season league, I actually have a Mega Charizard X, so I've already, you know, I figured I'd just go with old reliable. Plus, like I said, I made a commitment to winning. So on top of getting this great offense and a great fairy type, I had to get the best fire type in the game. I had to get Arcanine. You guys already know Intimidate is great for any physical attackers. With its self-recovery, that's two things now that have self-recovery. I'm making sure that all of my defense have some sort of self-recovery. But you know, it's Flare Blitz, base 110 attack. I mean, this thing hurts. You know, E-Speed, it gives me some priority. It's just, I don't know, there's a lot of things. You guys already know, Arcanine this is the fourth team, the fourth Pittsburgh Pyroar team that Arcanine has been on. So it's really not anything new, anything different. But I'm trying to win, so you know what it is, and that's what it is. So I did want to make sure that I had some sort of water type. Also, I should probably clarify, Lindersai was an S+ rank, Clefable was an S rank, and Arcanine was an A rank. And I actually also ended up picking Arcanine because I thought about Slowbro, but then for my next pick, as you guys are about to see, I actually picked Slowking because Slowking is a C rank, which was a much better deal. Slowking for C rank to be able to get Arcanine in A rank, instead of going Slowbro A rank and then having to take a subpar fire type at C rank. So, or at any other rank basically. So I thought this was a really good trade-off. I really did need, I know that Clefable has some pretty decent defenses. Arcanine is generally a better physically defensive Pokemon, but can be specially defensive. Slowking is typically slightly better specially defensive Pokemon, but can be physically defensive. So I really thought that these two worked really well together. Of course, Regenerator is going to help. Not only does it get that self-recovery, it does get Slack Off. And Slowking does have a lot of cool moves that it can use, good move coverage, and I'm really excited to be able to use Slowking. I feel like Slowbro and Slowking always seem to get overlooked for me, and I'm really excited that I get to use it because I think Slowking is going to be a fantastic part of this team. I think this makes a really solid defensive core that works together. I do also want a Grass type to finish the Fire Water Grass, but we're going to come back to that. But I did decide that I wanted one more Pokemon that can just be reliable defense, as well as I also needed hazard removal. Also, Slowking is the first Pokemon that I actually don't have a nickname for, so please help me come up with a Slowking nickname. So, and I don't really want to call it like No Pants because like so many people do that, so I was trying to think of something different. So if you guys have any suggestions, let me know. But yeah, Slowking, really good Pokemon. It's very good, and it was C rank. It was a good deal. So let me get back to my team on the sheet that I'm looking at, and I needed hazard removal, and I didn't think that I needed a lot of hazard removal from everything on my team. Arcanine is basically the only thing weak to rocks, and plus I have Clefable that has Magikarp. I have Slowking that's Regenerator. Rocks isn't the biggest deal to me. I don't need a top tier Rapid Spinner Defogger. Especially the way the TBU is set up. You know, if I go on from the high tiers, and I'm getting something from the high tiers, and that means that I can't get stuff like this. So I ended up getting a lower tier-ish Rabbit Spinner. My first Gen 7 Mon, Komala. So yeah, I am very happy that I got Komala. For two reasons, well, three reasons, and I believe I actually do have a nickname for this. I believe it was Life Goals. That might be two words, I'm not sure, but yeah, so the reasons I like this: Rapid Spin, Wish, this also gets Sucker Punch, so more priority should I need it, a good move pool, move coverage U-turn, which is very good, as well as a good special defense stat, a decently good special defense stat. I figure if I use this, it will probably end up being more of a specially defensive Pokemon. It does have good attack, and there's probably going to be a lot of different ways to use it. This Pokemon cannot be statused, so that's also a very good thing to have. And I think it just works really well on my team. So even though I kind of got this as a defensive option, it is a really good offensive mon. I think people underlook that. And yeah, there is that. It also gets Sword Stance. It's really cool. There are a lot of cool moves that Komala gets. Some good setup options. and I'm very, very excited, and this is probably a better, and I also got this because I wanted a Wish Passer in case I needed it, and it's good to have it on this instead of wasting Wish on Clefable, because then you have to use Wish Protect on Clefable instead of using all the other great moves against, whereas Kamala I think is going to be a little bit more narrow as to what it does. So, but this is a D rank, so it was a really good steal, and I think it's going to do really, really well on the team. So there's that. Now we get to the 6th round, which is going to be the halfway point of our team, and I decided that I needed offense. I really need offense. I have Lando I have some somewhat offensive options in Clefable and Arcanine, as well as kind of Kamala, but I really need something that's just hard to prep for, and there's really nothing else, but of course, if you're going to go hard to prep for, you might as well just go all out and get Lucario. So, I got Lucario for a couple reasons. Of course, because of its offense, it has good attack and special attack. So this mixed with Lando I is just, I really wanted to make it hard for people to team build for me. I mean, this can be physical while Lando I is special. This could, or Lando I could be physical while this is like special. You know, whatever. Like they can switch up their rules all the time. Not to mention things like Arcanine can be physical and special. And I'm not sure if there's anything else in my team that actually ends up fulfilling quite that role. Not really. So I really figured, you know, my team is very top heavy, with a couple of interesting options to bring to certain matches. But I mean, this is really the bulk of my team. I expect to see probably this 6 for a majority of the season. Of course, there are some other mons, and 1 or 2 of these might end up being switched out for another mon that might end up making more appearances than I expect, because that's usually what happens. But you want to talk about move coverage, Lucario just gets it all. Lucario also gets more priority, Bullet Punch, Extreme Speed, I think. Yeah, Extreme Speed. Vacuum Wave, I believe. Does it get Vacuum Wave? I feel like it does. It's way down here. So yeah, it gets a lot of priority and gets move coverage, physical, and special, Swords Dance, as well as Nasty Plot. Oh, Quick Attack. Quick Attack is the best priority. Quick Attack is in the good moves, while Vacuum Wave is not, so that makes sense. Agility. So, like, Lucario has so many things. Plus, I also like Drain Punch on my fighting types, so that's always fun, in case I need it. I know Lucario isn't very bulky, but should I need it, it's good. Justified is cool as a resistance to knockoff, because I feel like knockoff is going to be a thing that's brought against me a lot, just because Slowking as well as No Mega on my team. So yeah, it's good to have Justified, Inner Focus if I need it, and Steadfast never really going to be used. So yeah, Lucario is really good. It also gives me a Steel type, which is good offensively. This isn't necessarily a switch into Fairy types, but we will get to that later, maybe. Do I even have one? No. Well, that's not the point. Well, yeah, I do. Fairy types are going to be kind of interesting for me to deal with this season, but I definitely have some ways around it that I don't really want to give away. Also, I do need a nickname for Lucario, so please give me a Lucario nickname if you can. Now, we're going to move on to round 7. So at this point, I have my A, B, C, D. I have an S+, I have an S. So basically, the rest of my draft has to be like really low. I still need an E rank, and then I have to pick an FYI rank on top of the viewer FYI rank, and then we'll get to the bench, which I didn't properly explain the bench at the beginning of the video, but we'll get to it. So, yeah, so I needed to go low tier. I noticed I still hadn't had an electric type, and I was looking through, and one definitely popped up to mind. Let's go ahead and do that. There shouldn't be any teams there that need to be secret, so it don't matter. Nope, I don't need to name it. And the next Pokemon that we pick is Electabuzz. Electabuzz is awesome. It's an FYI rank, and it is an electric type. It has decent bulk, especially on the special side when you factor in Eviolite, also 105 speed. Gives me a little bit more speed because I was starting to lack it a little bit. My speed tiers are a little weird at this point. They're all pretty slow. I mean, Lando I is 101, Arcanine's like 95, Lucario's like 90, and then everything else is slow. So I decided to go Electabuzz. It's really good. I just want Volt Switch. I want Switch Initiative, so that way I can, use Volt Switch to be able to get into other threats, such as Landoi, such as Lucario, things like that, and really help get myself in good. And I guess technically Electabuzz can be physical or special, should I need it to be either. It does have better physical move coverage, but I mean base 83 isn't really that great, so you know what it is. Vital Spirit is also a good ability, should I need to use it, and Static is also a very good ability, should I need to use that as well. So Electabuzz honestly just covers so many things that I think is good. It's good to have an electric type, and Electabuzz is a really good electric type. I used Electivire last season in TBU, and Electabuzz is, in my opinion, it's about the same. Electabuzz can actually be a little bit bulkier, and yeah, so I'm excited to use this. And Electabuzz I actually do have a nickname for. I do not need one, so let me go ahead and put that in. And yeah, let's go ahead to our next pick. At this point, I felt that I had kind of picked everything that I wanted to, or I had gotten like all the basics. So my viewer pick was, I essentially figured my viewer pick was going to be a grass type. There were so many grass types. I wanted a grass type on my team, but I wasn't picky about which one I got. So I decided to just submit a bunch of grass types for a viewer pick and leave it at that. And besides that, the only other thing that I really kind of needed was a dragon. And I decided not to pick that yet. I decided to wait to pick that. But I did get one, and then there were some other things I thought about, like spin blockers, and I just thought about other stuff. At this point, I remember I actually was going to pick Ditto. At this point, I did not get sniped or anything like that, even though I didn't really have a whole plan. I picked my first 2 picks without really a plan. Then I planned like the next 3, I didn't get sniped. Then I planned like 3 more, I didn't get sniped, until I believe Dokes took Ditto, and I am very, very upset about that, because I really thought Ditto was going to do a huge amount of work on my team. I've used Ditto before, and I think it really would have helped, just more anti setup and things like that. So it would have been fantastic, but I decided to go another direction. Since that got picked, I decided that I was going to go just more offense. I mean, I need some more offense, and I don't have any special attackers, full-on special attackers necessarily. I mean, I have Landoi, I have Clefable. There are things, but I don't have a super specially offensive mon, and as well as I would like to really make my speed tiers a little bit more diverse. So with that, I actually picked Excelgor, one of the fastest Pokemon that you can draft, which is fantastic. Also gives me good options in spikes and things like that. Also gets U-turn, Baton Pass should I need it. Final Gambit, of course, that's always a thing, and it has more things than you would think of. Man, wow, it's physical. I mean, it can be used. I was gonna say Leech Life, but I guess you have Giga Drain, which is better. I don't know. That's interesting. So there is some things that Excelgor can do. Excelgor also has its place in TBU history on other people's teams that other people can tell you about, and I don't believe I actually have a nickname for this either. So I will have to I'll have to think of one for that. Acid Spray is also a move that I absolutely love using. And yeah, this is a little bit more special offense. I guess 100 isn't much higher than anything else on my team. It's actually not. So I don't know. I just thought Excelgor would do well with the speed and spikes, as well as Final Gambit, special offense, and just something to be there. I don't expect Excelgor to make a lot of appearances, but I will try and fit it in once or twice just to see what it can do. And then, alright, well then comes, I guess, the viewer pick, because, alright, so how this works, there are 9 Pokemon on the regular roster, and then 3 on the bench. Each week, you can choose to take a Pokemon off the bench and switch it for a Pokemon that's on the team of 9. And you get 1 switch per week, and there's no restrictions outside of that. So, the viewer pick starts on the regular team. So the viewer pick is actually the 9th Pokemon, and then there's 3 bench picks that I can choose to bring in future weeks. But I have to switch it off the bench and things like that. But I guess we'll talk about the viewer pick because it is the 9th Pokemon on my team. And it was a poll on Twitter that TBU tweeted out, and people got to vote on it, and mine was pretty easy. So I think the choices that I had were Tangela, which I really wanted because I love Tangela. There was Cradilly. There was something else that I actually don't remember. I know Gorgeist was on there at one point, but then someone picked it, so I don't remember what the third one was. And then there was the one I got, which far and away won, for some reason, Go-Goat. So, let's talk about Go-Goat. And I do have a name for this. There we go. There might have to be one, I forget how the characters work, but either way. Go-Goat is a mon that I have actually gotten very close to drafting a lot of times. And I've decided not to for various reasons, usually because I found a different grass type that I wanted instead. But I don't have a choice. This time I have to use Go-Goat, and I really think it can do well. I mean, base 123 HP, this thing is fat, 81 special defense, pretty good. Don't dismiss the 100 attack with 97 special attack. Very, very good. Not to mention things like bulk up, and I'm not sure if it has any other like real setup. But its moves are really good. It has self-recovery with Synthesis as well as Milk Drink. Has Leech Seed, I believe. Yes, it has Leech Seed. It has things like that that can be annoying, as well as it just gets good move coverage. Horn Leech is another one. Very, very good, and I am very excited to use Go-Goat. I think people really underestimate it, and I think it has a lot of potential as to what it can do. And I'm really hoping that I can show off the potential that Go-Goat has. So, I have to thank everyone for voting Go-Goat on Twitter. Yeah, I'm going to do my best with it. Hopefully I can do some work with the viewer pick this season. Very happy. Got a grass type. Adds onto my Fire Water Grass core, and I think Go-Goat is defensive enough that it can fill part of a core like that, and I don't know, it can just do some interesting things. So we'll have to see. But then we go on to my bench, which these 3 Pokemon will not start on the team unless... So for our first game, we can choose if we want to take one of these off the bench and switch it. I haven't looked at my matchup yet, so I don't know if any of these will. But I'm just going to go over in the ones that I picked. So, like I said, they're on the bench. I can take them off of the bench in future matchups. It can only be 1 per week. So, it'll be a while, but I am going to try to use all the Pokemon that I drafted at least once per game. You know, that's the goal. But the next Pokemon I got, which was basically because it was the only one I could get, was Druddigon. And let me tell you about this. So, I really wanted a dragon because dragons are fantastic to have on your team. They have key resistances to things that other things don't resist. And just dragon offense is sometimes very hard to stop depending on the team and depending on what's left on your opponent's side. And because of my points that are left, the remaining 3 picks of mine have to be E rank, and Druddigon is the only E rank dragon. You cannot draft an FYI on your bench, meaning that I couldn't go something like a Zweilous or freaking, what is Haxorus's thing? Fracture, or like anything like too crazy, or like something bad like regular Altaria or something like that. That was a no-go. So Druddigon's an E. I used Druddigon in the last season of PPL and wasn't the biggest fan, but it was there. It has 3 good abilities, Ruskin, Sheer Force, and Mold Breaker. All very good abilities. Ruskin was the one that I definitely used the most. It does give me some more offense should I need it. Things like that. It has good move coverage, and also has Stealth Rock, which was a big one for me, because, like I said, I didn't really want Clefable to be my Stealth Rocker all the time. I don't necessarily want Lando Y to be my Stealth Rocker all the time, but I haven't actually drafted another Stealth Rocker until this. So, Druddigon really is a good Stealth Rocker. Also Sucker Punch, so even more priority. Roar, I mean, it has a lot of good stuff. So, Druddigon is what it is. I have experience with it. I'm not the biggest fan, but I think it can do work on this team, and we'll just have to see how the season plays out. So, next I decided that there was a Pokemon that I had to have. I have basically checked all my boxes. I have You know, I have hazards, I have hazard removal, I have my fire, water, grass core, I have a fairy dragon, steel, not really, my steel's Lucario, but, you know, whatever. I have a lot of boxes checked, electric type, things like that. So, I really need to think about how else I can use this team. Dredagon also has a nickname already, so let me put that. Whoops, why did I put a slash? And the next Pokemon I picked was Wobbuffet. Alright, so here's the thing with Wobbuffet. It was an E rank, which is crazy. But Wobbuffet really offers me like really good options. It makes it that much harder for my opponent to team build, which is fantastic. And if I can play right with it, I mean, Wobbuffet can come in, encore something, and then I can get a free switch into, you know, Lucario, Lando I. Then they have to switch out while I get to set up, you know, a sub or a setup move. And I mean, that can be game for anybody. So the fact that Wobbuffet is paired up with things like Lando I and Lucario should make my opponents absolutely terrified. So I'm really excited to use Wobbuffet. I think it's going to show up more often than you would think, and I think it really could be a central part of my team, or it could end up being useless because maybe I won't use it right, or you know, people just are better at using it than me. So yeah, I don't entirely know. So also the TBU, I didn't even think about this. The TBU the Z move rule is any mon can use Z moves, but they can be offensive only. So I guess technically I can use offensive fighting Z move with Wobbuffet. So let's go, let's go. But yeah, I mean, obviously, it's so good. Wobbuffet's so good, and actually gets more moves than I thought. I thought it could only get 4 moves, and here it gets like 8. That's pretty cool. But yeah, so that's Wobbuffet, ridiculous HP, and it's very good. So, man, last Pokemon, at this point I have electric resistances. I don't necessarily have an immunity. I also don't have a spin blocker, and I need something in E rank, and I was like, this looks like it could be fun to use, and I haven't seen anyone use it yet. So I drafted Palossand. Yeah, I am really excited. Also, I do not have a nickname for Wobbuffet. I do not have a nickname for Palossand, so please leave me your things in the things below. Yeah, leave me your nickname suggestions. I was gonna say, why does it look like it's crossed out? It's not. It's just the line there. Its abilities, I guess ability water compaction, because this is with evasionness. I'm not dealing with that. So I have. That's good for like water type moves. I can use like water reducing berry, which I can't remember off the top of my head because I've never needed to use it. Should I need to, but I don't know. But Palossand, I mean, 110 defense mixed with 85 HP, mixed with a recovery move in Shore Up, which I believe is like synthesis. I think it recovers like 50%, and then if sand is up, it would recover like 100% or 75% or whatever. So this sticks with the theme that all of my Pokemon that could be used defensively do have recovery, and base 100 special attack is cool, and it's a ghost move, so I mean, or it's ghost type, earth power, shadow ball. It also has some other cool things, Sludge Bomb. It also gets rock polish, psychic, Giga Drain, so that's fun. Destiny Bond. So I'm really actually excited to use Palossand. I think it could be a really useful mon for a game or two this season, and I do intend to bring it, just like I'm going to bring every Pokemon on my team. Rock Tomb is pretty cool. Yeah, so that is that. That is my draft. Yeah, I really like Palossand. I don't know. I think it's going to do well, and I don't think people are going to be ready for it. So my entire team, as you can see, we have Landoi, Clefable, Arcanine, Slowking, Komala, Lucario, Electabuzz, Excelgor, Gogoot, Dredagon, Wobbuffet, and Palossand. So that is my entire draft for the TBU. I am really, I'm really looking forward to the season. I think it's going to be fantastic, and we're going to be playing a lot of new people. There are a lot of people that have joined the TBU. The divisions are definitely different than before, so I'm playing a lot of people that I haven't played before, and I'm very excited about that, and we're going to take this team and do the absolute best with it. So let me know what you think about the team. Let me know your nickname suggestions for the things I don't have nicknames for, and the season will start whenever Pokebank comes out. So I don't have an official start date yet, but just keep tuned to the channel, subscribe, and you'll be notified when it does start, and I will see you when it does. So thanks for watching this, guys, and until the next time, stay sly.